Welcome to today's video, and wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having an incredible day. Today's agenda is hopefully fix the coolant leak on the S15, then put the rest of the kilometers on the car or mileage that we need to break in the engine so we can turn up the boost and do the real tune. So, I guess without further ado, cue under intake manifold coolant hose leaking fix. I hate my life. Okay, so you can probably tell by the huge grin on my face that I do not have to take the intake manifold off, and I figured out the easiest way to do this. I've only been working on it for 10 minutes, already replaced one of those clamps to the throttle body lines that connects under the intake manifold. And this is pretty much the main tool that you need. You're gonna need a flashlight as well, but one of these long pointy nose pliers, the long handle ones with that angle on the end. And what you do is while you slide it under the intake manifold here to get to the clamps, right? Now this obviously all depends on the rotation of the clamps, but you can use this to rotate the clamps and stick your hand under there and rotate them. But when you're under here with your left hand, you're able to actually look through a hole through the top here. It's hard to see, but on the other side of that little, down there, you can kind of just see the hose clamp on the other side of the radium. It's not a fuel pressure regulator, but I can't think of the name right now. A pulse dampener. That's it. But you can kind of see the hose clamp there that I've already replaced. And then the one next to it is the one I'm about to replace as well. So because I can see that, I'm able to pretty much know where I need to stick the pliers and everything. It's actually insane. So I've pretty much already changed one. We're going to do the second one now, which is the bigger hose, which is the easiest one. I have already done the hard one. So I'm hyped and I'm very confident we're going to be driving this again today. All right, so it's been a fair bit of time, but as you can tell, we got the car out the front now and it is not leaking coolant anymore, so we got that problem fixed. I also had some time, so I gassed up the AC, put some compressor oil in there. We got icy cold AC now. I also put the rubber boot and everything around the shifter, so that should be nice and quiet now as well. But I am really pumped because we're gonna go put another 100 kilometers on this. We're gonna come back and do an oil change, go put another 200 kilometers on it, come back and do an oil change. And if we're lucky, tomorrow we can start doing the proper tune and the shakedown at the track for Okajuku. So tomorrow, if we're lucky, I might be drifting this a little bit. So I'm pretty hyped about that. But let's get in the car and take this thing for a drive. We'll probably go to a PA, get a coffee and come back for the first 100 kilometers and we'll pick it all up from there. Haven't had to do this in a hot minute. Forgot my ETC card, so we're going by cash all the way up north. Oh, that's gonna suck. It's always more expensive if you don't have an ETC card in Japan. I just gotta try and remember to make sure I always go in the cash aisle. That's the one thing. You get so used to going in the purple ETC thing that you don't even think about going in the green one. Tolls in Japan, man, far out. It's ridiculous, honestly. It's just a part of life you kind of get used to, but like everything, any highway in Japan has a toll on it. Even some special service roads are toll. It's crazy. Oh baby, we're about to hit the 200 kilometer. There it is, woo! 100 more Ks to do for the first 300. Then we got to do an oil change and another 200 after that. Getting close, boys. Just gonna chill on the highway, let's go. This feels pretty good. Got the Starbucks at one of my favorite PAs, it's called Moria PA, and we're going to Starbucks to get a coffee. It's been a while since I've taken her on a Starbucks date, so this is a pretty monumentous occasion for me. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee. I'm gonna jump back in the car and do some more miles. You know I had to go for that pumpkin spice latte because for some reason they finally have it here in Japan. Yeah, that's right. Starbucks in Japan only this year started making the pumpkin spice latte here in Japan. I feel deprived. I definitely feel deprived, but at least I'm about to find out how good this is, or if it's good, or if I like it. I'm not sure. You can tell that the aircon pump, like compressor, when it comes on, it's not that great just yet, the idle, so I definitely need to mess around with that in the link and get that perfect. But that's not too difficult. Anyways, I want to try this pumpkin spice latte and see if it's any good. Let's see what this is like. Wow, that's really good. There's so much nutmeg in it. Oh, I love that. That's really good. That's like pumpkin pie. That's so good. If you guys don't know, I also, I'm pretty good at baking pumpkin pie from scratch. I'm actually really into baking and cooking when I have the time. May loves me for it. Anyways, let's go and get some more kilometers on this thing. I really want to be able to drive this thing tomorrow, so let's get some more Ks racked up on the odometer. So I've been driving for about an hour and we're really close to hitting the 300 kilometer mark now. So we're heading to Yashio factory. We're pretty close now. and let's get that oil change done. So I just finished cleaning out the oil pan. Gonna do our drain. We're gonna obviously check for metal fragments as well in the oil. You're always gonna see a shimmer, like in your oil after a new engine build. That's normal. Look at that, perfect catch. That's some hot oil too. So it's normal after an engine build to see like a shimmer in there, but you don't want to see any like, you know, chunks of metal or anything like that. So we'll wait for that to drain out and then we'll take a look at it. Hopefully, good bill of health. And of course, while I'm here, I'm going to do a leak check on everything. Make sure there's nothing I don't know about. I've checked from the top and obviously under the car when at the PAs, but looks like everything's good here, which is great. Good to see. Oil looks pretty good too. I don't see any crazy kinds of or metal fragments or anything like that, which is good to see. What I want to see. Look at this yummy break-in oil. Oh man. Just down to a drizzle now, won't be much longer. So here's the oil out of the car and you can kind of see like the little, it's hard to see, but you can kind of see like this very fine material in the oil. See that on the surface there? And like throughout the oil, it's kind of like got this metallic-y shimmer to it. Now that's what's normal, that's what's good. And what I've been doing is going through with the magnet here and just trying to see if we pick up any debris, pieces of metal. Obviously I've gone through as well and I've tilted this backwards and forwards looking for big pieces of metal and nothing is here. So this is looking really good, really healthy for a break-in. We just got to do another oil change after another 200 kilometers and we're good. So Okachan came over and had a look at it as well, gave me a thumbs up, so we're going to keep going at it. Hopefully tomorrow I get to shred this thing a bit. I'm really excited. So gonna put some fresh oil in there and go out again. I've just been going over everything. I went through and tightened all my belt tensioners and stuff for the accessories because they started getting a bit squeaky. It's pretty normal with new belts. Once you put them on for the first time, they do stretch a tiny bit. So went around and readjusted all of that. So that should be fine now. And just triple checking over everything, making sure there's no leaks, no nothing. These last 200 kilometers I want to go perfect, and then obviously tomorrow we can do a little bit of shakedown stuff. So I'm pretty hyped. Also, I've been getting used to the brake pedal feel without the booster delete, and now that the rotors have kind of cleaned up and they're not as rusty and stuff, it's a lot easier to brake, I've noticed. I don't know if that's just like placebo effect or I'm just used to the pedal feel, but yeah, it's so much easier to brake. One thing I have to say as well is I have never had feedback in my pedal before where I've been able to actually feel like the pads gripping onto the rotor and like as I'm pushing on the pedal, like that feedback coming through the pedal to me where I can actually feel it. So this actually gives you that. So it's crazy, like while I'm braking, I can actually feel like all this feedback coming from like the calipers and the rotors. It's kind of insane. I'm really starting to dig it a lot actually. So I'm pretty excited to do some drifting with that and see what that's like, and we can dial in the proportioning valve and get everything sorted out for rear to front ratio. Now, one other thing I'm super excited about that you guys know that in the future I'm planning to change to a really nice thermo fan setup. In fact, my PWR fan kit is over there and it looks incredible. But what I want to show you is how we're going to power everything. So going to thermo fans on any S chassis without upgrading the alternator is a big boop boop. If you do that, you're pretty much going to have a lot of voltage issues. In fact, most of the time your fans won't even spin all the way up because your alternator just can't supply it. You're going to keep going through alternators and blowing them and stuff like that. So my friends over at CWC sent me over one of their LS alternator conversion kits, and I'm super excited to be putting this on when we do the thermo conversion on the car. We're running Spell fans. Let me show you this setup because it is beautiful. So here's the fan shroud kit that we're going to be installing in the S15, and this thing is a work of art. It's made by a company in Australia called PWR. They're not a sponsor whatsoever. I paid full price for this. It's about $650. It's a bit expensive, I know, but you pay for what you get. And this is absolutely a work of art. And if there's one thing you shouldn't cheap out, is heat management, heat control, and keeping your engine cool. Super important. I see a lot of people throwing eBay kits on their cars with fan shrouds and stuff, and they have to cut up a whole bunch of stuff in there to make them fit. This is designed to go straight into the OEM S15 radiator. You can see the tabs and everything perfectly welded on there, just like the OEM one. This will fit in there. The nice compact spell fans. Each one of these fans pulls true 802 CFMs. We're gonna have a total of 1600 CFMs pulling through this shroud, which is gonna be well and truly enough to keep this thing cool. So I'm pretty hyped about that. You really can't go wrong. These guys are so awesome. They even mark which one is your positive side so that you don't spin these in reverse, because it's actually kind of funny. A lot of people that I've helped out at the track with their cars overheating in Japan, they've done a thermo conversion and the fans are spinning backwards and pushing air out. So it is a common thing that a lot of people mess up and forget to check. Whenever you install thermos, if you just want to make sure that they're rotating the correct way, grab like a piece of toilet paper or something, just hang it in front of the fan in the engine bay and see if it's pushing it towards the engine or sucking it in, so that you know that they're not spinning the wrong way, because a lot of people forget about that stuff. Obviously, we're not putting this in today, but I wanted to show you this work of art from the guys in Australia. They really kill it with this stuff. And obviously, massive thank you to CWC for their alternator kit. You guys are going to see how that all bolts up later in a future video when we do the full conversion to thermos and get that sorted out. But I can't wait to set it all up. We're going to relocate the battery in the rear, get some really nice wiring sorted out. The link is going to control each fan individually, so it's going to have the first fan on, and then as it starts getting hotter, it'll initiate the second fan, and I'm going to even have a third little thermo fan, spell fan, on my oil cooler. So I'm going all out with heat management on this. I never want to see this thing getting up into the high 90s. This thing's going to stay icy cold. I'm pretty excited to get a little bit geeky with all that technical stuff and the Link ECU and controlling all that. The fan control stuff in the ECU on Lynx is so good, and no one ever shows or talks about it. So we're going to geek out about that in a future video for sure. Gassing the old girl up. Drink, my precious. Yes, tomorrow is going to be your time. We're not going to bring a bunch of tires, but we're going to have some fun. I am so psyched. Whew. Just had a little PA. And going over and checking stuff, I started hearing a bit of a weird sound, and I'm not sure it's my AC compressor or my power steering pump, but something's definitely making a little bit of a grinding noise. I think it's just maybe one of the bearings is going out. So I'll have to look into that later, but worst case scenario, it's we just got to send the power steering pump or the AC compressor off to get rebuilt and overhauled. So it's not the end of the world. It could also just be the tensioner bearing as well, the tensioner pulley bearing for the AC. It's hard to kind of tell which one's making the noise. Later I can do some testing, but it kind of comes and goes, which is weird. Anyways, we'll solve that problem, but I'm going to keep doing some driving, putting some miles on. We're about halfway home now, so we're going to keep doing this. And then I think what my plan is going to be is tomorrow morning, I'm going to duck into Yashio and change the oil, because we would have done my extra 200 kilometers then. Then we're going to head to the track. And we're gonna do our street tune, highway tune, / little bit of track tune, and get the car driftable, if that makes sense. Safely, of course. We're not gonna go crazy with timing and stuff like that. We can go on a dyno later, but for now we definitely wanna be able to start drifting this thing and having some fun. This PA is kind of crazy because you can literally stand here and that's the highway right there. Check out this truck. I mean, obviously it's designed for Japanese people that aren't 6'3", but I could literally touch the truck if I wanted to. It's kind of sketchy. Anyways, I just realized we haven't done something very important that we need to do. We need to christen the S15, guys. We need to christen it. So what are we christening her with? We've got Emerald Mountain, we got Georgia. Do we have Georgia the premium? Premium coffee is, oh, we got Rainbow Blend. Yeah, we're gonna christen her with Rainbow Blend. Hang on a sec. One epic thing about Japan is you can use your travel card, for the trains and stuff that's in your wallet, and just touch it onto some of these vending machines and it works. All right, this is what we're gonna use, guys. Boss Rainbow. Give me a sec, It's been a while since we've done this. All right, guys. First of all, ASMR coffee time. Oh yeah. Some for me, damn, that is good. And some for her. Whew. Look at that stuff dripping down. Luckily it's raining today, so I don't feel bad about doing that. But she's christened now, guys. Means she's gonna be epic and we're gonna shred tomorrow. Oh man, I'm so excited. You guys have no idea how hyped I am. Everything in the link is looking beautiful. We've got a lot more stuff to add to our engine management setup, as you guys, I was talking about, like with the whole like fan system and stuff. We're going to be adding oil pressure sensors and fuel pressure sensors and all that kind of stuff into the link. We're going to be putting a digital dash in and all that kind of stuff. But for now, this is all we need. Let's get going. Let's get some more kilometers on this thing. I want to shred this tomorrow. All right, guys, I am back home and I'm actually in my PJs ready to hit the hay. But I just wanted to start off by saying a massive thank you to each and every one of you that jumped on the merch drop. We cleared out this entire room, empty shelves everywhere. There's a few certain sizes left and stuff, like just small quantities left over, but pretty much we sold out on all the major sizes right away. Most successful merch drop I've ever done to date, and I think it just proves like how much more I've worked into the designs and all that kind of stuff and making sure we're getting a really good product. I got some more cool ideas that I'm going to pass to the graphic designer, and hopefully he can get stuff made up very soon for the next drop. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you, and if you haven't jumped on it yet, there are still obviously some certain sizes available, so head to SAMMIT.net and grab yourself some before they are gone. But that aside, such an epic day. Didn't have to take the intake manifold off, fix those coolant leaks. We did a bunch of driving and got the kilometers on. Very certain tomorrow we are drifting the S15, as long as nothing goes wrong in the morning when I put the rest of the kilometers on and drive to Yasha and do the oil change and then go to Scuba Circuit to meet them for Okajuku. Man, like the car just feels so good. I cannot wait to take the thing past 3,000 RPM. Like I said, the car is building boost from 2,500. It wants to rip. And like, there are just so many things that we don't know about the car. You're like, I don't know what gate sounds like. We're using a much smaller wastegate than we did previously, and how that's gonna change the sound of it. The turbo sounds insane, the whistle noise and stuff that it makes when it's spooling up and spooling down. It's just, it feels so good, and it seems like we're out of the woods with little teething issues at the moment, other than that weird noise, which I think is probably the power steering pump. I didn't want to get my head too close to the accessory belts. I'll have to diagnose it later with like a long screwdriver or something to listen to work out which one it's coming from. But it looks like the power steering pump might be on its way out, or it's the aircon like idle pulley there that the bearing in that could be also busted. So if that's the case, it's quick, easy fix. I'm hoping if it's the idle pulley, that's the best case result, because then I don't have to, take the power steering out and make a mess, or drain all the AC gas out and take the AC compressor out and get that rebuilt as well. And actually, which is quite expensive, because you can't buy those brand new anymore. You got to get them overhauled. But anyways, guys, I hope you're excited for the S15. The next video is going to be the S15 at the track, getting the tune dialed, doing a little bit of drifting and stuff like that. I'm actually tomorrow morning going to the shop to get a spare set of tires and wheels, so maybe we'll get a bit of seat time. I don't want to get too excited, but tomorrow, guys, tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button, write a comment, and subscribe. But before I go today, I actually really want to encourage you guys with something. Is no one ever accomplishes their dreams by doing nothing. You have to work hard to get there, to achieve them, and anyone can do that. If you work hard enough, you will achieve your dreams. You will achieve your goals. But the first thing you need to do is start working on it. So no matter what it is, whatever your dream or goals or aspirations are, what is the simplest, easiest thing that you can do to start that? To start putting yourself in that direction. Think about that. It just has to be the tiniest little thing. Give it a go, and then you've essentially started your journey to living your dream. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Jamata.